No, I could never fit in that. Never get in that at all. This is more like it. Now, what's the whitest thing you know? Whiter than the driven snow, whiter than the whites of your eyes? Sugar. Non-integrated, non-black, sweet sugar. But you see, there is a black man in your sugar. His name is Norbert Rillier. Norbert Rillier in 1846 invented a vacuum pan, revolutionized the sugar refining industry. Now, you have to dig to find that fact.
I searched for images of myself in the historic photos of E.T. My assignment was a remix of existing artifacts from the archives. I wanted to write about my people. I wanted to see faces like mine in the historical photos of the campus. Black students like me, black athletes like me.
In 1889, William L. Mayo, a rogue educator from Kentucky, established this teacher training school for the area's white farmers and their children. Mayo believed no student should be turned away for lack of academic preparation or funds.
In terms of financial needs, Sam Rayburn was typical of the student Mayo's college was designated to serve. Rayburn worked his way through by ringing the college bell, sweeping out classrooms, making fires, and doing other odd jobs. Eventually earning a Bachelor of Science degree in 1903, he would go on to study law in Austin, and by 1913 began serving the district in Washington, D.C. As Speaker of the House for 17 years, he would also help sign into law the most significant civil rights legislation since Reconstruction, the Civil Rights Bill of 1957.
Indeed, Mayo's original mandate would guide the college for more than half a century. Any person, Mayo insists in a 1908 college catalog, of whatever age, wealth, or previous advantages, who desired a college education could have one, regardless of their ability to pay. Like any such institution across the Jim Crow South, however, any person meant any white person.
Searching. I did not see myself in photos of the basketball team. There were no faces like mine on the football field. I didn't see myself in the band. At social events. In the classroom.
Old South Week was an event held each year by the fraternity Kappa Alpha.
For the plantation owner and his family, it was an aristocratic kind of society. Gentle manners, courtesy, hospitality. Many of the ideas that we still associate with the people of the South came from the days when plantation life was in full flower.
The male students emulated the cavaliers of the antebellum period, while the women dressed up in hooped skirts and dresses.
This, then, was the social organization of the plantation. The aristocratic class of the landowners who had wealth and privileges.
Even at the height of the civil rights movement, the event often included mock slave auctions, where fraternity pledges dressed up in blackface to play the role of slaves.
And the laboring class of the slaves, who had little wealth and few privileges.
This event was finally moved off campus in 1973 when African American students protested.
Eventually, I found them. They were in fragments of slave receipts in the library archives.
Chosen we wander.
I found them in photos of cane press workers.
Until we are lost.
They were in records of cafeteria workers in the 1930s.
Wind of decision like dust we
In 1937, they were captured in photos of sewing room employees.
It's a storm of choice. Which is the right voice to follow? Which is the voice?
I particularly remember his attitude toward integration of the college, which he announced by saying there would never be any blacks at East Texas State Teachers College. Its advocates expected that the Brown decision would cut through the dark years of segregation with laser-like intensity. The resistance, though, was open and determined. At best, the Brown precedent did no more than cast a half light on that resistance, enough to encourage its supporters, but not bright enough to reveal just how long and difficult the road to equal educational opportunity would prove to be. Velma Waters applied for enrollment 4 times before she was finally admitted. As a small child, Velma Waters would walk across the campus of East Texas Teachers College to bring her father his lunch, where he was employed as a laborer on the WPA project. But she could hardly hope to grow up and study at this whites-only, state-supported institution of higher learning in her hometown of Commerce, Texas.
We could only work for the university, but we couldn't go to school here.
As Derek Bell insists, whites may agree in the abstract that blacks are citizens and are entitled to the constitutional protection against racial discrimination. But few are willing to recognize that racial segregation is more than just a series of quaint customs that can be remedied effectively without altering the status of whites.
What is prejudice? For this is the problem of the individual more than of the group.
Velma Waters was the first African American to enroll in classes and attend East Texas State University.
Family and neighbors like Maydell Bunnell and her children would soon follow. In the case of Brown versus Board of Education, Derek Bell insists, as in the abolition of slavery, there were whites for whom recognition of the racial equality principle was sufficient motivation. But as with abolition, the number who would act on morality alone was insufficient to bring about the desired racial reform.
East Texas State University recruited John Carlos from Harlem in 1966. Just 2 years after this rural teachers' college began the process of desegregation, and 1 year before Dr. Carlos would join Tommie Smith on the medal stand at the 1968 Olympics, raise a gloved fist in black unity and solidarity, and then to history. He didn't expect to find in Texas the racial issues he was seeing elsewhere across the South.
So like when I came down in East Texas State coming out of Harlem, they didn't understand me. You know, they didn't understand what it meant for me to walk off a plane and walk in and see, white restroom only, black restroom, and then walk in the white restroom, look like I could fry some eggs on the floor because it was so clean, and then walk over 25, 30 yards and see the black restroom. It's paper, water, gnats flying around. I said, whoa, I know that's not the way we live because that's not the way we live in my house. Something's wrong. To hear your name go from Johnny to boy, the word Negro was so close to the other word until I kind of raised up, what you call me, coach? And my wife said, I don't think he called you that. But it's a matter of saying, hey man, it looked like you don't have no respect for me. I'm here to do a service for the school. You know, I wore East Texas State across my chest. It didn't just say State University. It said East Texas State. The key phrase was Texas. No matter where I went, I represented the state of Texas. That's like me going to represent America in the Olympics, and I come home. Is America representing me? I don't think so. So now, when I go and run with East Texas State on my chest, and I go to the state capitol and walk in the bar to buy a beer, and they tell me, boy, we don't serve your kind in here. Or use the N-word, get out of here. You know, it kind of made me say, something is wrong, and somebody's got to have the gumption to step up and let people know.
Then I found out that some of my co-teammates and co-students didn't like me. And that hurt my heart. I couldn't believe it. They don't like me. No. My first taste of racism. But there was a tunnel under the highway, so after practice, we'd have to run from the football field, stadium, to that tunnel, because here comes a pickup truck with guys in the bed of the truck, white guys with bricks, running saying get the nickel. So it's like, dang, who are these people? What did I do?
Decades later, I found myself. I know the struggles aren't over. I know their struggles are my struggles. My struggles are theirs. I search the archives and I wonder, what does this mean to me? For my people? For those missing African American faces? For those there? It meant change.
Sometimes you just gotta go. You will never know what you could ever be if you never try. You will never see. Stayed in Africa, we ain't never leave. So it wasn't no slaves in our history. Wasn't no slave ships, wasn't no misery. Call me crazy, or isn't he? See, I fell asleep and I had a dream. It was all black, everything. And we ain't get exploited. White man ain't fear it, so he did not destroy it. We ain't work for free, see they had to employ it. Built it up together, so we equally appointed. First 400 years, see we actually enjoyed it. Constitution written by W.E.B. Du Bois. When no Reconstruction, Civil War got avoided. Little black Sambo grows up to be a lawyer. Extra, extra on the newsstands. Black woman voted head of Ku Klux Klan. Malcolm Little dies as an old man. Martin Luther King read the eulogy for him, followed by Bill O'Reilly who read from the Koran. President Bush sends condolences from Iran, where Fox News reports live that Ahmadinejad wins the Mandela Peace Prize. You will never know what you could ever be if you never try. You will never see. Stayed in Africa, we ain't never leave. So it wasn't no slaves in our history. Wasn't no slave ships, wasn't no misery. Call me crazy, or isn't he? See, I fell asleep and I had a dream. It was all black, everything. And it ain't no projects. Keeping it real's not an understood concept. Yeah, complexion's not a contest, cause racism has no context. Hip-hop ain't got a section called conscious. Everybody rapping like crack never happened. Crips never occurred, no bloods to attack then. Matter of fact, no hood to attack in. Somalia's a great place to relax in. Fred Astaire was the first to do a backspin. The Rat Pack was a cool group of black men that inspired 5 white guys called the Jacksons. Eminem fitted in, but then again he inspired a black rapper trying to mimic him. And that's who really rose up out of Michigan, a signed white rapper by the name of 50 Cent. You will never know what you could ever be if you never try, you would never see. Stayed in Africa, we ain't never leave. So it wasn't no slaves in our history. Wasn't no slave ships, or no misery. Call me crazy, or isn't he? See, I fell asleep, and I had a dream. It was all black, everything. And I know it's just a fantasy. I cordially invite you to ask, why can't it be? Now we can't do nothing about the past, but we can do something about the future that we have. We can make it fast, or we can make it last. Every woman queen, and every man a king. And when those color lines come, we can't see between. We just close our eyes till it's all black, everything. You would never know what you could ever be. If you never tried, you would never see. Stayed in Africa, we ain't never leave. So it wasn't no slaves in our history. Wasn't no slave ships, wasn't no misery. Call me crazy,